There were 4 of us who went into those woods. Only 3 of us came back. And to this day, none of us, not one, has ever said his name out loud again. Not because we forgot it, because we're afraid that if we say it, he'll remember where to find us. My name doesn't matter here. What matters is what happened over 3 days in October, 7 years ago, in a stretch of national forest that doesn't officially have a name on most maps. Just a number. Site 14. We picked it because it was remote. Because none of us wanted cell signal, or crowds, or rules. There was me, my best friend since college, Derek, Derek's girlfriend, Priya, and Marcus, a guy Derek worked with, who I'd only met twice before that trip. Marcus was quiet, not unfriendly, just watchful. The kind of guy who'd sit by the fire and stare into it for way too long, like he was listening to something the rest of us couldn't hear. We should have asked more questions about Marcus. We didn't. We packed for 3 days. Good gear, real food, a satellite messenger in case anything went wrong. We thought we were prepared for anything. We weren't prepared for the first night. The hike in took about 4 hours. Beautiful trail, pine, granite, a creek that ran alongside us most of the way. We set up camp just before dusk, and by the time the fire was going, everyone's mood had lifted. Derek was cracking jokes. Priya was filming little clips for her sister back home. It felt normal. Good, even. Around 11 p.m, Marcus asked if anyone else had heard the knocking. None of us had heard anything. He described it carefully, 3 slow knocks, like knuckles on wood, coming from somewhere past the tree line on the opposite side of the creek. Not an owl, not a branch falling. Knocking, he said, like someone testing a door that wasn't there. We laughed it off. Derek made a joke about Bigfoot. Priya rolled her eyes. I remember feeling a small, cold pinch of unease that I pushed down and ignored, because that's what you do when you're 26 years old and you don't want to be the person who ruins the trip. Marcus didn't laugh. He just kept looking at the tree line. At around 2 a.m, I woke up because the fire had died down and it had gotten cold. And I heard it too. 3 knocks. Slow, deliberate, from across the creek. I didn't wake anyone. I told myself it was a branch. I told myself a lot of things that night that I no longer believe. The next morning, Marcus was different. Quieter, even for him. He kept looking at his hands like he didn't recognize them. When Priya asked if he'd slept okay, he said something strange. He said, "I don't think I was the only one in the tent last night." He shared a tent with Derek. Derek said he hadn't heard or felt anything unusual. But when Derek zipped open the tent that morning, there were 3 parallel gouges in the tent fabric, low near the base, like something with long fingers had dragged itself along the outside in the dark. We told ourselves an animal did it. Raccoon. Maybe a bear testing the perimeter. We checked our food storage. Nothing had been touched. That afternoon, we hiked to a ridge about 2 miles out, hoping to shake off the strange mood from the night before. It worked for a while. The views were incredible. We took photos. We ate lunch on a flat rock overlooking the valley, and for an hour, everything felt normal again. On the hike back, Priya stopped cold on the trail. She'd found a marking on a tree. 3 deep gouges, spaced exactly like the ones on the tent, at almost exactly head height. Fresh. Sap still running from the wound in the bark. We were 4 miles from our tent. Nobody said the word coincidence. Nobody said anything at all, actually. We just picked up the pace and didn't stop again until camp was in sight. That night, we agreed no one would sleep alone, and someone would always stay awake by the fire. I took first watch. Around midnight, Marcus came and sat beside me. He hadn't said much all evening. He said something I still think about more than anything else from that trip. He said, "It's not trying to hurt us. It's trying to figure out which one of us is already like it." I asked him what that meant. He didn't answer. He just kept looking at the tree line, the same way he had the night before. At around 1 a.m., the knocking came again. But this time, it wasn't from across the creek. It was close, maybe 30 feet from the fire, just past the edge of the light. 3 knocks, then silence. I woke Derek and Priya. We stood together, backs to the fire, staring into the dark, and for almost a full minute nothing happened. Then Marcus stood up. He walked past all of us, past the fire, past the edge of the light, into the dark, toward where the knocking had come from. And he didn't stop when we called his name. He didn't even turn around. We didn't follow him. I need you to understand that. We didn't follow him, not because we didn't care, but because every one of us, at exactly the same moment, felt something that told us not to move. We heard him walking for maybe 10 more seconds. Then we heard 3 knocks, very close, and then nothing at all.